What's up, lazy Susans, Sus daughters, and Susanoos? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, who is going to one of my best friend's birthday parties today. It's gonna be really cool. He's 21. Ayo, H-Town, what's up? Zach, and today's subreddit is r/parking revenge. Also, happy birthday, Dakota. All right, this story is called Landlord. Always keep security deposits. Game on.
Please be gentle. It's my first story.
Many moons ago, after my divorce, I saved up enough money to move from my apartment, a building with 12 units, and buy a house. Ew, I was really excited and told my favorite neighbor. He told me not to even bother trying to get my security deposit back because the landlord never returned security deposits, which I turned in my notice. The landlord didn't bother to do a final walkthrough. After 30 days, I emailed her and asked about my deposit. No response. I filed a small claim court case for the deposit. This lovely lady's strategy was to hire a lawyer and bump it up to the next higher court. Most people quit after she bumped it up to the next higher court. I had some spare time and I've always loved a good game of strategy. I double-checked with the court to make sure I could represent myself. FYI, anyone can. Also, FYI, that means for your information. I then sent a certified letter to her attorney asking for a full disclosure of the evidence being presented. A huge thank you to all those TV shows that explain what full disclosure is. A week later, I received a call from the lawyer asking what I wanted in order to avoid court. Settlement accomplished. The petty revenge. I let my neighbor know how to get his deposit back when he was ready to move. He let the other tenants know how to get their deposit back. OP1, landlord, -12. Oh, what a loser. How do you get -12 at anything? I don't know, you suck and you be a stupid landlord that tries to scam people. This story's called How I Got Revenge on a Bully's Brother. Sorry if this story's a bit short. It's a pretty good story though. So a few years ago in my neighborhood, we had 2 kids. Wow, that's it? One in 5th grade and one in 2nd or 3rd grade. I can't remember. The 5th grader will be known as Jerk, and his little brother will be Jerk's brother. He was not really a jerk. My brother will be Friend, and I will be I. Jerk really cared about Jerk's brother and protected him like he was everything. Aww. And our neighborhood was a little island of prairie. We live in Iowa, and prairies are everywhere. That split the road into 2 and back again in the entrance to our neighborhood. It had 2 trees and a sign with the name of our neighborhood on it. We get boiling summers and freezing winters, and in the winter we get a lot of snow. The snow that year was in big pieces, a bit bigger than the size of a very old TV. A CRT, I'm assuming. After we got off of our bus, we started walking and talking. While we were talking, Jerk took a chunk of snow, ran across the island, and dumped it over my head. I was pissed, but I kept talking to Friend. Then Friend got dumped on, and I was even more pissed. This continued for about 2 minutes. Then Jerk's brother got in on it, and that was when I struck. My shoes, socks, pants, and shirt was wet. I had no snow pants on, and I was done with this. Jerk's brother ran across the island with a chunk of snow and stopped on the sidewalk. He froze and dropped his chunk when he saw me making a ball of snow and packing it together with all of my might. For the people who are not familiar with snow, you might not know this, but when you do what I did, it creates a heavy ball of hardness and pain if it hits you. I am a great hitter, but the worst thrower ever to play baseball. So when I threw it, it missed. And hit him square in the frickin' nuts. Luck had granted me a nut shot! Everyone's head turned. I saw the life drain from his face. I still think back to him dropping to his knees and covering his groin and smile. Oh, covering his groin and the OP smile. I had a new problem now. His brother. He did what was basically a bull charge from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Great game, and no, I am not a 45-year-old. You're not fooling anyone, you 45-year-old. When were you born? 1975? Loser. He tackled me and friend had to pull me away from his weak punches. He doesn't punch like a bald bull, that's for sure. I bolted to my driveway and caught my breath with friend in tow. We chatted for a second and I walked inside and I celebrated my victory against Jerk. Jerk is no longer a jerk and we get along. He moved away sadly and I miss him. He was fun when we got along. Also, I feel bad for Jerk's brother because he just followed Jerk's orders. Lesson of the story, don't make me cold, wet, and pissed at the same time. Phrasing, buddy. Also, thanks for reading. This is my first story, so if you have feedback, feel free to post in the comments. Thanks. Hey, what's this nonsense about just following orders? Huh? What do you mean they were just following orders? Do you know how many people died just following orders? I'm kidding. I hope you guys got what I was implying because I can't really say the words without YouTube crying about it and taking all the money from the videos and, you know, we can't have that here. But I hope you guys got the joke. But anyway, what's up, man? You're 45 years old, you're bullying third graders, and you're getting picked on by fifth graders and third grade. What are you doing, dog? What are you doing? This story's called Don't Let Me Go to the Medical Room. Enjoy cleaning up vomit. This is actually my mom's story, but I thought it belonged here, so here goes. My mom was a pretty good student, mostly B's and C's, with the occasional A. Nerd. She would never use the toilet or medical room just to get out of lessons. Her French teacher, I'll call her Dick, okay, had favorite students that she was nice to. The rest, she acted like they weren't there. My mom was not one of her favorites, the Revenge. The last lesson on a Friday was French. My mom was feeling nauseous, but she didn't think it was anything, so she just brushed it off and went to her last lesson. And halfway through the lesson, it got worse. She was feeling dizzy and hot. Her friend, who sat at the desk next to hers, leaned over and asked if she was okay because she was going pale. So she raised her hand and asked to go to the medical room. And of course, Dick thought she was trying to get out of lessons and gave her a short lecture on the importance of staying in class. Wow. 5 minutes later, my mom put her hand up again and asked to go to the medical room. And again, Dick said no. She put her hand up again, and this time her friend backed her up and pointed out that she was going pale. Dick told my mom to come up to the front of the class to Dick's desk. So my mom did. Dick got right in her face and yelled at her to not make another sound, and if she did, she would get an after-school detention with Dick. Dick pointed to my mom's seat and told her to sit down. About 10 minutes from the end of the lesson, my mom got that feeling you get when you know it's too late. She vomited all over her desk, the floor, and her friend. Yummy. Dick looked shocked when it happened, and there were still 10 minutes left of the lesson, so she had to clean it up. Mom didn't find it funny at the time, as she had just thrown up and felt very ill. But now she remembered it, and she says it was worth it to see the look on Dick's face. Amazing. I'm sure she would have preferred you calling her by her real name, Richard, you know. This story's called Parking Revenge. So a little backstory before I get the actual revenge story. I live in a really small and tight street with super limited parking spots, but it is like an unwritten rule that everyone parks in front of their place, not someone else's. Recently, this douchebag moved in across the street and he has 4 cars, 3 that just sit around and 1 that he drives daily, and he has those junkers parked all over, taking over people's spots, causing problems. I have, on a few occasions, left a small note on his car asking him politely to please not park in my spot, and he still keeps doing it, and it really pisses me off because when he does take my spot, I have to park a few streets over and walk for about 5 minutes to get home. Not far, I know, it's just annoying because I don't take other people's spots. So, on to the actual story if you are still with me, and I I am, buddy. I understand. 3 days ago, overnight, we had a massive snowfall. It was up to my knees, and I'm 6'4". Big guy. I wake up and need to go to the store to buy groceries, so I get a shovel and spend about 30 minutes digging my car out of the parking spot, and I shovel all the snow out of the spot so it's easy for me to get back in my spot with my groceries when I get back. While I'm doing that, the douchebag comes out and leaves and looks at me while I'm shoveling snow, and we even make eye contact, so he clearly saw me clearing snow out of my spot. So I go to the store and return some 20 minutes later, and what do I see? The douche has stolen my spot, the parking spot that he saw me spend 30 minutes clearing. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get some nasal spray because my nose is stuffed and it sounds gross. I instantly get raging mad. See, it sounds so much better. And I honk my horn outside his house to try to get him to move his car. That doesn't work, although I thought I saw his curtains move when I honked. So I calm myself down and get out, walk up to his door and knock to see if I can get him to move his car. He doesn't come to the door, but I can clearly hear him inside. Absolutely furious, I storm back to my car and park in the next street over and carry my groceries through knee-deep snow, and just as I get to my door, I see him peek through his curtains across the street. I go inside and plot my revenge. I waited until it was about 1 a.m. to be sure he was asleep, keeping an eye out the entire day to see if he moves his car, which he didn't. So I go out with my shovel and I shovel all the snow I could find in a massive radius around his car and pack it tight under his car and around it, and a massive pile on top of it. It took me about 2 to 3 hours. You could not see his car anymore, and I was 100% sure he couldn't drive out of the pile. I packed it super tight. I go to bed feeling happy with a job well done. The next morning, I wake up to a loud knocking on my door, so I get out of bed and go to the door. There he is, furious that his car is in a snow pile and he is going to be late for work, and tells me to get my ass outside and dig his car out of the pile. I calmly walk outside, look at the pile and say, "Oh, must have snowed again last night. Unlucky that your car is parked exactly where it all came down," and gave him a little smirk to go with the joke. Walk back inside and close my door, and I can hear him outside for the next hour or so trying to get his car out of the pile. He hasn't taken my spot since then. Mission complete. Badass. That's ProRevenge, bro. Get out of here with the petty revenge. That is not petty. Pro, my bro.
Doesn't matter when or where there's trouble if you just call my name.
Oh, sorry. This story's called Want to Yeet? Pass me over a double yellow line? Enjoy your ticket. The community I live in has a speed limit of 25 miles per hour. It also has a connecting street to another development which leads to a main road. So, people tend to cut through my neighborhood to get there. Many drivers enjoy speeding through the streets rather than following the speed limit, those lawless dogs. The local police department therefore decided to start implementing surprise speed traps right by the main entrance. Smart people. I have never been stopped by one, as I like to drive safely and not get tickets that I can't afford. But I often tend to end up in front of drivers who like to drive recklessly and get angry when those in front of them don't do the same. Our story begins when my car's cruise control button finally got fixed. Ayo, I had long been waiting for this because then I could finally enact Operation Petty Revenge. There's a gentleman who regularly cuts through my neighborhood who owns a Dodge Challenger. For those who don't know, Challengers can get loud. Consequently, this fellow enjoys revving the engine every 100 yards or so to inform everyone nearby that this is a Dodge Challenger, and its driver likely has less than average size endowment. This morning, I found myself pulling out of my driveway right as the Challenger turned the corner and approached. And you bet your ass, I booped that cruise control button and meandered at a comfortably legal 25 miles per hour the entire ride through my neighborhood. Oh my god, my loins! That was gross. And the driver behind me was pissed, revving that engine, riding my bumper, the works. I was loving it. Okay, buddy.
La pièce de résistance
Was when we turned onto the street right before the main entrance. Sure enough, a police car was there. Now, normally, the police puts a car there without an officer inside just to spook the drivers into slowing down. But today, the universe was on my side. In his haste to pass me and continue on his merry way, the driver of the Challenger apparently didn't notice the upcoming police car because he revved the engine one more time, scooted past me, a squeal of tires, and across a double yellow line, might I add, and for good measure, screeched a cordial "Frick yeah!" to me out his open passenger window. The police car, that glorious police car, flipped on its lights, whipped out onto the street, and pulled that moron over. I haven't laughed that hard in years. Yeah, praise the police more, bootlicker. I'm kidding. No politics here, fellas. Yeah, this was good story. I appreciate the use of smart legal measures to make sure but jerk guy gets pulled over like a person that gets pulled over. This story's called Do Not Mess With My Cats Mobile. This happened a while ago, but something just reminded me. Years ago, I was fostering kittens who had coccidia. For scale, I had caught coccidia off them and lost 8 kilograms in a week. So for little baby kittens, it can be deadly. Okay, sick experiment, okay? Infect one of the kittens and see what happens when something less than 8 kilograms loses 8 kilograms. Will they achieve negative mass? I will break the universe. Okay, sorry. There's medications and stuff that you can give them, and thankfully, my kittens were on the mend. My housemate at the time was very attached to one of the kittens. After she stole my car and left me stranded in the rain, meaning I had to walk home half an hour in the cold and wet, I lost my crap and told her to leave. This was after many other incidents such as not paying rent, sleeping through things regularly, breaking my dash cam so I wouldn't know she was driving drunk, and mixing her meds with alcohol before driving my car. She also had guests over to drink regularly and went through my stuff while I was at work. Not a nice person. So she left and took the kitten. Not okay. The kittens are under my rescue, and it looks really bad if suddenly they die or she accuses me of giving her a sick kitten. I play nice for a few days, message her boyfriend and gently tell him that legally I have to microchip the kittens, so I'll do it for her for free so I don't get a big fine. I'll also give them the medication so she doesn't get sick. He brings the kitten back. I microchip the little one into my name and message her to step off. Do not mess with the crazy cat lady. Ma'am, sentence fragments. They make me uncomfortable. I'm kidding. The little one and her brother were adopted by a friend. Ayo, then abandoned with me. Oh. And finally readopted by his ex after they broke up and he ghosted her. Ayo. I get regular updates and they're living the good life. Very pampered cats. That was sweet. I'm happy for the kittens. And for you, for your revenge. Screw! What's her name? Housemate? Stupid housemate. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.